Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, April 18th, 2024. My name is Matt, and we are 1 day and 14 hours from the halving. That means around tomorrow night, we should have the halving. I have no transition for this, so I'm going to go straight into another thought. I was reading this article about the floods over in Dubai. By the way, Sarah's in Dubai. She said it's pretty bad over there. I hope you are okay, Sarah. She's fine. I just talked to her yesterday. But this article was talking about, how everybody's stranded in Dubai. And I thought it was interesting because there's a couple of tweets that popped out at me. And those tweets that popped out at me was one from @YouFadedWealth, said, willing to pay $500 to $1,000 for a ride from DBX to my hotel. Needs to be within the next 2 hours. Please let me know. And the other one was from @WatchKing69, said anyone in Dubai has a private driver that can take me to the airport right now despite the floods, willing to pay $1,000. I guess the two things that popped out at me with this is that people with money, and if you have the resources, and we're going to say money at this instance, that you can try to work your way around or offer people incentives, major incentives to do what you want them to do. Drive in a flood, get me to the airport. And I just find that interesting, right? I just find that interesting that they're going to offer $1,000 to get to the airport or from the airport to their hotel. And the other one is how much rides now cost. Nobody's driving. It's a flood. Everybody saw the pictures of the runway, the airport, all around Dubai. Nobody should be driving. An act of God. You should just be staying in place and just dealing with it. Because of the demand, because there is nobody driving, you have now inflated the price. And I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, but in such a quick instance, the price of a ride jumped $1,000. And the offer for the incentive for people to get on the road jumped to $1,000. And it just was so quick that it made me just go think of inflation. It made me think of how price action moves. It made me think of, I've been watching Fallout, so, apocalypse times and things like that. Like how quick pricing can change and how worthless US dollars actually can be because of what you want to get done in the demand and the supply of the service or the goods. And the longer that rain would hold out, obviously everything would fluctuate in price, and it turns into a barter system. Exactly how that is. I don't know where I'm going with this or why it sparked my interest this morning, but just to offer $1,000 for rides to and from the airport during a flood it just made me get some feels. And anyway, if you have any comment of that, please write me, matt@dailycryptonews.net. Crypto exchange Binance has converted its entire balance of a pool of assets held in its emergency fund for users or secure asset fund for users, or the SAFU fund, into USDC stablecoin. This is going to further enhance the fund's reliability and make it easier to ensure the balance remains around $1 billion. This SAFU fund continues to be a core part of their responsibility to the ecosystem, and they continue to evolve to meet market conditions head on. And remember, this SAFU fund is for security breaches or hacks or, losing funds in one way or the other that is their fault, or even if it's the coin's fault, but it went through Binance. This fund is there to make sure that they can reimburse their clients. It's a way for you to feel safe having your coins on the exchange in a hot wallet so you could trade. But speaking of hot wallets on the exchange, around the same time, the Bitcoin address associated with the SAFU fund transferred out $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, and $1 billion of USDC was added to the Ethereum wallet associated with the fund. It means everything was on chain. That's the beauty of on-chain transactions. You can see, they say, a company can't just say, hey, we did the thing, and you're just like, let's trust the company did the thing, and wait for an auditor to audit it, and then wait for a news agency to report about it, if they do. This is on chain, and we can see exactly that they did the thing that they said they were going to do. Now you're wondering where the hot wallet transition comes into. Well, it's right here. The Bitcoin that was sent out from the SAFU fund now appears to be held in one of Binance's hot wallets. So that means there's $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in a hot wallet, not in a cold wallet. Obviously, a cold wallet is a cold wallet storage wallet that's not connected to the exchange or the internet. It's sitting on a ledger in CZ's desk somewhere or something. And this one means it's on the exchange ready for trading, which means they could be parting with $1 billion of Bitcoin very soon. We will notice that. Continuing with some Binance news, Binance is planning to return to India, and they're going to pay a $2 million penalty to do so. Now, I've seen two versions of this, by the way. The one said $2 billion penalty. And the other one said, the one that I reported, this one's from Decrypt, says $2 million penalty. I don't know which one's right because we don't have enough consensus that it's $2 billion, which is kind of weird, honestly, and I think could be a typo somewhere. But long story short is that Binance is returning to India by paying a penalty. If it's $2 million, that's not even a penalty to Binance. That's like, buy me a coffee, you can come back into the country. $2 billion would make more sense, but that is also pretty damn steep. Anyway, long story short is they're going to go back into India. This is significant because the exchange reportedly aims to reform its South Asian entity, becoming the fully registered entity it should be with India's Financial Intelligence Unit, which oversees the local trade of digital assets, and it's working to comply with all acceptable regulations, including local money laundering and taxation laws. One thing is they got kicked out of the country for was they had non-compliance with local tax laws, allowing users to trade crypto without paying their 1% tax deducted at source. Binance should have been doing that. They were not doing that. Binance got kicked out in January when the Indian government blocked 9 crypto websites for illegal operations without proper compliance with local regulations. Prior to the ban, Binance accounted for 90% of the crypto hodlings of Indian investors, estimated at around $4 billion. So Binance going into India will be very significant. They'll make that money back if it's $2 billion or $2 billion. I bet you're wondering about the headline of this podcast, comply or have slow transactions. And this comes from this announcement that Sam Altman's Worldcoin Foundation has unveiled a new Ethereum Layer 2 network that will be integrated with the Worldcoin protocol. They have the ultimate goal of increasing the Layer 2 block gas limit and addressing network costs. Its new Layer 2 world chain will be a permissionless network that prioritizes transactions generated by verified humans. Let me say that again. Its network will prioritize transactions generated by verified humans. To do this, people will have to prove their humanity using Worldcoin's identity protocol, or World ID. But your ID, or your actual identification, is behind zero-knowledge proofs. So what is zero-knowledge proofs? Zero-knowledge proofs is basically, I have my ID. I verified with Worldcoin, right? Worldcoin says, hey, that is the person that he says he is. But now I have to verify with other people or other companies or other suppliers or whatever. But I don't want to give them my ID. I don't want them to let them know I'm Matt. I just want them to let them know that I'm Matt without showing them who I am. And how does that work? Well, it's kind of very easy. Basically, let's just say there's 2 locked doors, right? And they're asking for you to say, hey, if you are who you say you are, walk through these doors. Because only your ID will unlock these doors. And you walk through one, and then you walk through the other, and then you walk through the other one again. And then they say, okay, how about this one this time? And then you walk through that one. So you're able to walk through those doors because only your key or your ID unlocks those doors. So therefore, statistically soundness is part of zero-knowledge proofs. If you do it enough times, then, hey, that has to be the person because no other key will unlock the door, and you did enough times that I believe you. And you have to complete the job. Completeness is another part of zero-knowledge proofs. You have to be able to do the thing to completeness. And then that's zero knowledge. And then the last step is zero knowledge, that you don't have to say, hey, I'm Matt, and to walk through the door or verify that way. Your key unlocks it. They don't have to know that it's who it is. So there's no knowledge of the data behind the verification. So those are the 3 things: statistically sound, completeness, zero knowledge. And a lot of privacy blockchains use zero knowledge proofs. Why did I title this podcast the way that I did? Because even though it's zero knowledge, you still have to register. You still have to be verified. You still have to give up your identity or ID to some company or something in order to get preferential treatment. And I don't know, it's like comply or else sort of feeling to me. What do you think? Matt at dailycryptonews.net. And finally, thanks to yesterday's sudden Bitcoin slide, more than $255 million worth of futures contracts have been liquidated. Bitcoin, as you hope you were paying attention, went to around 60,000. I think it actually dropped below. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. And because of that, $255 million worth of longs were liquidated. This has been a painful week for derivatives traders. More than $700 million worth of long positions were forced to liquidate this week. Now, let's take a look at those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Fear Greed is at 55 neutral. So I just said about Bitcoin's price yesterday, we did fall below $60,000. The low price was $59,768.59. Now I'm going to continue to harp on this and say that in 1 day and 14 hours after we get the halving, we will drop in price. We will drop in price. Now that we're before the halving and we're at $59,768, I'm going to take my price estimates down to low 50s. I think we're going to hit around 54, 53, maybe even 52. And we're going to go sideways for a couple weeks. Here, the thing is the miners need to recalibrate. The transactions and the reward and the supply and the demand has to all kind of figure out what's going on. And until that happens, nothing really happens. It's not that we're going to be like, hey, let's go back to the races and trade. No. Imagine when something drastic happens in your life. You witness a car accident, or, you drop something and it shatters over the floor. You stop for a minute and you think and you go, all right, what do I got to do? I got to change everything I was going to do, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do now, right? And that time is what happens after the halving. This is my opinion, not financial advice, but that time happens after the halving. Is like something changes drastically. It happens like that. It happens like that. That's a snap. It happens like that. And then the market, the miners, the traders, the investors, the ETFs, everybody stops and goes, okay, what does this mean? They'll figure it out. And when they do, number go up. But until then, number goes sideways and down. However, Bitcoin did go up a little bit, and it's at $62,236. It's even from yesterday, down 12.3 in 24. Ethereum's at $3,025, even. Tether's number 3, Binance is at 541, up 1%, and Solana is number 5, up almost 1% at 133. Running off the top 10, we have USDC, XRP, Toncoin, Dogecoin, and Cardano. Nothing is really changed that much around the market. It's either even or even down a little bit. The total market cap is at $2.27 trillion, up 0.1% from yesterday. A Bitcoin dominance of 54.1 and an ETH dominance of 16%. That was our show today. I hope you have a great day. If you're on Substack, please look for our weekly roundup. Sarah and I are recording that in a couple hours, and we're releasing that tomorrow. So that will be for subscribers to our Substack. It's for our paid subscribers until we release it a week later for our free subscribers, but it will be there. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, you can DM me on Substack, leave comments on Substack. You can email me, matt@dailycryptonews.net, and also do me a favor, go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, click them 5 stars and leave a nice comment. And until tomorrow,
happy hodling.